You better.
Nah, we're good. All right, everyone ready? 1, 2, 3, 400 pictures.
Thank you.
All right, Pablo Ferry, come forward, please. And he will be pinned by his girlfriend, Frankie Hyatt. Okay, did I get it right? Close, you even told me.
Yeah, you did. You got it.
All right. Thank you. Family. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mauricio Munoz. And you are being pinned by Michael Munoz. Great. I already acting well. Great.
Oh, I'm doing a video, sorry.
Gonna be in the center. I can try and make it there. I do all of our. Okay, that's good advertising. All right.
Thank you. Next slide. Next slide. Or somebody already have it. Dad, come on up. Father Dave Bragg will be doing the pinning.
No problem.
You got a posse?
I got you.
You're the best, is that what you? Oh, they better be perfect.
You guys would take like a half a step forward, maybe that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
One more. 1, 2, 3.
All right.
Up here, one more time. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful.
Well, congratulations to our newest apprentices. Thank you so much for making the time to come here on duty and on your days off. And thank you to the family for making the trip. This is fantastic. And none of us could be here without all of you here to support us. So thank you, most importantly, to the family. With that, now you have to stay for the next hour and a half for the meeting. If you aren't out of here in the next, 4 to 5 minutes, we're going to keep you. So say, talk, do whatever you want for the next few minutes. And then it's up to you. You're more than welcome to stay and we would love to have you, but you may want to exit now. Okay?
Come on.
For sure.
All right, sir. Enjoy your meeting.
How are you? Fine. You also Sabrina.
My wife's Sabrina. You can
Yeah, it's
My first, right. Nice. You too. Look at that. No, yeah.
No, Jeff sure does. It was.
As long as fire marshal present, you can double the
All right.
You see Masters, Gardeners.
So where do I stand? Does it matter?
You stand in the middle. Right over there, and you have the floor.
Okay, great. So I'm Bruno Piton. I'm the environmental horticulture advisor for Placer and Nevada County. And I am the academic oversight advisor for the Master Gardener program for Placer County. And our Master Gardeners, this is Karen Lopez, one of our Master Gardeners who's joined me today. The Master Gardeners were approached by, I think it was Mark, right? Yes. To talk about actually renovating the landscape at the Loomis Fire Station.
Yes, Station 18.
Station 18. And so we talked about the idea, the Master Gardeners and I, about doing a fire smart demonstration landscape as actually a community outreach, component. Pretty nearby the Loomis station, actually right down the street, is the Loomis Library, where the Master Gardeners have their demonstration garden. And so the idea we have behind this is to do, plantings that are appropriate for fire, and really what's involved is the maintenance and that maintenance component, and then actually even doing workshops at the fire station to help the public understand the maintenance they need to do to manage their landscapes and reduce the risk of fire on their properties and for their homes. And we've got a lot of ideas about that as far as the Master Gardeners providing that plant expertise to the staff of the fire department, and then they could actually do some of the work. And then also having actually like maybe a couple days a year having outreach events where the public can come and see the maintenance taking place. And I think that's it. Are there any questions? And Karen, is there anything you think I should add?
Not unless there are questions, we can answer, yeah.
Questions from the board?
Is any of this in conjunction or following the state Firewise type community stuff with the in conjunction with CAL FIRE and what they are pushing to the state fire marshal's office for these demonstration gardens for fire safe planting?
So I don't know, Jeff might actually be able to help answer this a little better. We're going to try and incorporate Zone Zero. My understanding with Firewise communities is mainly an educational component. Is that correct?
Yes, no, there's
Yeah.
certain criteria that communities
Well,
have to meet.
I guess my point would be that CAL FIRE does this throughout the state, and there are there's precedent and all that's already set for how to do that, and there's a lot of grant money out there and free money out there. Are you guys aware of that?
So I'm aware of CAL FIRE funding for specific, I have colleagues who have applied for some of this funding. It sounds like it's actually somewhat challenging to get. I don't know if there's something, a lot of it's actually focused on like forests and biomass reduction. I'm not super familiar with that.
So,
I don't know if we would fit in any
yeah,
category.
it's what we're looking to do. So originally would say UC Master Gardeners, you guys are the experts. and you're active in the town of Loomis, what can we do to partner together to beautify the front of Station 18? Then the conversation switched to, man, what a great opportunity to use this as a learning and education tool for the community to say, hey, drive by the station, looking at putting some placards out front and really honing in on zone 0, which is 0 to 5 feet. So we're gonna mirror the best we can what CAL FIRE and the state fire guidelines are for zone 0 with some laminated plaques that say, hey, you want to keep your planting so far away, use DG or some kind of, non-burnable product near you. And so it'll envision zone 0 around the station.
Great, I just want to make sure that
Yeah.
there's not two messages going out.
Nope.
And that they say the exact same thing.
Yep. And in tandem with that, the UC gardeners are gonna bring in some native low water species. We have already a donation from PCWA to help us with the irrigation. And we'll be reaching out to the community for a partnership,
Yeah,
really.
And I would just suggest that you get a hold of the local CAL FIRE folk. They give more money away than anyway. They give a ton of money away, so.
Okay. I talked to Chief Garcia a little bit about that, and maybe we'll talk to him and see if this is an option.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Any other questions?
No, I'm for, I think it's great. I wouldn't even, if this is successful, I could see expanding it to the other stations, honestly.
Yeah, I think one of the things, right, we have the station on Maidu, which I don't know the number. And it had a Firewise landscape, but one of the major problems is that the maintenance wasn't done. Right? And so there were weeds and plants that were overgrown and dead plants. And so that's really like the major component that I think needs to happen. And that's where the partnership with the master gardeners will really benefit, I think.
And so a couple times a year, we're gonna open up spring and fall. Hey, the gardeners are gonna be out doing a presentation on how to maintain your property and really use it as a tool to bring the public in and show them how to maintain their property, as well as let the experts give them the tools to, prune and pare and what to do and all that good stuff.
Would you be opposed if somebody spearheaded, some kind of video component so that we can via social
I think that'd be
media?
a great idea.
Yeah.
Give you the props to do it and then educate the public as well.
Volunteer your expertise.
I'm not a video guy. I'm sure I can find somebody for that, but I just, wanted to see if that would be an option.
No, I think that's a great idea. I don't know that we had thought about it. I'm not sure if anyone else had, but I think that's a really good contribution. I mean, that's the way it is, right? People are looking on YouTube for stuff, and that's a great way to get information out there.
Okay. As we get closer, Chief, I'll be more than happy to, help figure out the video component or getting involved in that. I won't physically do it, as my wife will tell you. But I'd be more than happy to find a resource to do it, for sure, professionally, by the way.
Any other questions from the board? Any questions or comments from the public?
How can we keep track of it? We want to watch it.
We will post it on our YouTube.
Yeah.
We have, the Master Gardeners have a Facebook page, which we
Okay.
could post things to. We also have a UC Cooperative Extension Facebook page for Placer, Nevada counties that you could check.
Okay.
And we have our quarterly newsletter and our website.
So Bruno, do you need any volunteers to help with this kind of thing?
Yes, we will. I'll answer that question for
So-
Karen.
Yeah, I mean, the Master Gardeners are gonna be spearheading that component of it, and probably with help from the fire personnel at the station, I would imagine. But, kind
Yeah, I'm hoping
of,
to
I guess
generate-
depending on their availability.
I'm hoping to generate donations for materials and products, and then labor will come from within the community. to help us
Yeah.
out.
So, there you go.
People like Dan.
People like me.
Yeah,
Great, awesome.
okay, well, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, Bruno.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Have a good night.
Okay, good night.
Well, we got one of them in the city.
Consent agenda. Is there anything on the consent agenda that anybody would like to see? The agenda? Motion to.
Motion for the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Old business.
So due to the elected position that Director Windenhausen holds, we now need a new benefit assessment oversight committee member. The board tasked us a few months back with finding someone to fill that spot. request was to ask the existing board members. We asked, we got limited responses. Then we broadened our circle to asking prominent members in the town of Loomis, and they have put forward a individual that they think would be a good fit for the position. Question to the board now is, how would you like to proceed? Would you like to do an interview? Would you like to have them come before you? Would you like to just appoint them based on the recommendation of members of the town council and the town manager? What is your preference as a board to seat somebody in this oversight committee position? And maybe as a previous member, Director Wendy Housen, you could provide some insight on.
I just have a question first. I'm sorry, I missed. Did you get one name?
Yes.
There seemed to be consensus on one name?
Yes,
Wasn't sure if there was more than one name. Okay.
one name.
Should we do a bio, have them do a one-page bio before we just blindly vote on that person? Does anybody know the person?
Has the person been contacted? Are they willing?
Yes, they're willing. Yes. Yes.
Come on.
Yes, I've spoken
Just
with.
checking.
I know how this board works.
Do we,
Go ahead.
can you say who it is or no?
I don't have a problem saying, Ethan Brizzy from the town of Loomis. He had run for a seat on the town council. I guess he's very active in the community. I've met him a few times. He came highly recommended from a number of members of the board and the town manager.
Any information, just at least generally or basic information on his background?
Off the top of my head, I believe he's a financial planner for somewhere in the town. Is his business, or maybe it's not located in the town, but he's active in the community in a number of committees and such in helping the community. Like I said, if you guys want a bio, I'll ask him for a bio. If you want him to come to a meeting, we can have him come to a meeting. Really direction from the board on how you would like to handle it.
When do we want to have it filled by? I mean, are we under?
Typically, we have our meeting in April or early May to make sure we can get the budget and the expenditures approved for the June.
So we don't want to wait
Adoption of the
until
draft.
next meeting.
I don't want to pressure you. At the next meeting would probably be okay, but if we go past the April meeting, then it puts us in a bit of a predicament.
The last time that we appointed somebody, we had a panel that interviewed him, and it was made up of the directors from the Loomis division.
And we had 3 or 4 candidates. This is a little bit of a more unique situation.
I'm going to still suggest something similar to have the other committee members maybe interview them.
Okay.
And they have to work together and they have to make sure that,
Are you asking for members of the last time it was
Oversight.
done by board?
No, I meant
Board
the
members.
oversight committee. No? Is there a problem with that?
There's not a problem. Scheduling wise is usually a bit tough with the oversight committee.
And you know what? That's Brown Act committee.
Okay.
So interviews for it, there's an interview, it needs to be public and Brown Act, I believe. So maybe a subcommittee that would, and maybe that solves the scheduling problem too, if you can just
Okay.
get 2 of them or something like that.
Fine.
You know, and maybe someone who's
I think it's
at
fine.
least one person that's been on the committee, has history in the committee.
Are you volunteering as a full member?
No, I meant not, I meant someone on the existing committee. I can help if need be.
Very
But
good.
no,
I would recommend that if we want to go that way, that we have 2 members from their committee, but we also try to get 2 of our board members that are from the Loomis division to sit in on there as well. So that we actually have sight on it, since we're the ones that have to appoint them. That, would you be open to that?
Would you like from your board to sit on this?
Director Windenhausen?
yeah, because
I think she has.
I was on the
has insight
committee
on
since
both,
its
so
inception
that's good.
until now, yeah.
Are you interested in that, Chris? Okay. There you go, there's our 2.
Okay.
Let's see if they can supply, at least one, preferably 2 from their committee to sit in. Very good. Okay. So Chief will work on getting the time set up for that. And then next board meeting, we'll have a report out from the two of you. And we'll go from there. Fire impact fee program 2025 annual adjustment.
Yeah, so you saw this at the last meeting. We sent the adopted resolution to the county for action, and they sent it back to us with some issues. There was a miscalculation, or actually a typographical error in the multifamily section of the document. And then there was some language that was inaccurate in the footnote section. That has been cleaned up, and we're asking the board to approve an amended resolution to then send this back to the county. It had been a while since this had been done, and some things apparently got missed. My apologies. We'll make sure that does not happen again.
Questions from the board? Questions or comments from the public? So we need to
Need a motion?
motion on this?
I'll make a motion to approve the fire impact fee amendment.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. New business, Southwest Fire District policy updates.
We have 9 policies before you that have gone through a review by the battalion chiefs and the labor group. I think the one I'm most proud of and happy to see come through is 218, the staffing and overtime procedures, with significant work from the labor group in putting together a policy that will standardize our hiring practices and really clean up a lot of the sometimes confusing practices. So super excited to see this come through. This is the first reading and open for discussion, and then you'll see it again next month for a second reading and approval.
Questions from the board? Again, policies, first reading. Questions or comments from the public?
Yeah,
Oh, policy.
I was just curious. I'm sorry, did you go to come, well,
I'm starting to,
Sorry.
because everybody kind of tricked their head now.
I was actually looking for my reference on the, I'm scrolling through here on, this, personal, activities. I'm looking for.
Projects on duty?
Yes, can you give some kind of idea of the type of things that would consist of? Somebody sitting there buying flies?
Refinishing your furniture at work for your home.
That's okay?
As long as it doesn't interfere with response demands, it's okay by the battalion chief. You don't use district resources, those kinds of things. So the goal behind this policy, we're here for 48 hours, and sometimes you have some downtime. And so we want to just kind of define, if you're going to work on personal projects, it can't impact the operations of the district.
So it'd be like typically from 8 to 5 is business hours. And then after dinner, typically unless you're responding to an incident, it would be their soft time or kind of their time. And so they could, if they were into tying flies or making fishing rods, they could go out in the apparatus bay and make fishing rods or tie flies, because you can't make them work from 8 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. There's downtime after they've put in their 8-hour day theoretically, unless they're responding to an incident. So it would be just stuff they bring from home. If they like to paint, carve, whatever. You can't rebuild your car in the shop up at 20 after hours, but you could,
Wash it.
wash it, type, because they sit there and they get dirty. So typically after hours, that's when they get in their shorts, they wash their car, they call their family, that kind of stuff.
And I have another, just something that maybe doesn't sound so bad.
Comment right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're still getting used to it. So that's what it is, Jenny, you know.
So what I was trying to figure out is this a brand new policy or is updating? So there's no policy regarding this previously?
No. There was one that was put out in 5/17/21.
And then they can't make something and then turn around and sell it to the district, right? So you can't profit off of your soft time at the fire station by your hobbies making hose packs and then you turn around and sell them to the district and you're building them on district time type of thing.
So I'm assuming that something like this is probably, these activities are probably already occurring to some extent, but without any kind of existing policy. Is there something that prompted the policy to have?
This one I think is an update because it was 4 years old and just refreshing, bringing it to the board as a.
So there was an existing policy.
Oh, there was
Yeah,
an existing.
It was established in 5/17/21.
Okay.
This is just moving it into the new formatting. So basically it's a reformat into the new policy style.
We have an old system and a new system. The new system's a knowledge management system being housed in this product called Lexipool. And so we're trying to get everything off of the old policy system into this one so that we can streamline and have everything in one place.
I just want to make sure that it doesn't interfere with response time. I want to make sure that it's not interfering with other employees.
Agreed. And that's really here, the first two things, that shall not interfere with emergency response and not interfere with any other assigned station duties. It's really just creating a clear expectation of, yeah, you can tie flies or do another project, but when the bell hits, it's go time.
Yeah, I figured so. No, I figured so. You know, and I'm thinking more like, you know, tying flies or something like that. But when you said refinishing furniture, I'm just like, oh, well, that sounds messy and there's odors and.
That's
know,
right,
so-
but the BC has to approve it, so
Yeah.
whether they would
so-
approve it or not, I
Yeah.
don't know, I don't have the BC.
And so
sure, but-
hopefully they also have the, you know, to revoke the permission. So, okay, all right. Answer my questions.
Any other comments from the board? Any public comments or questions?
I was just curious, how many staff take advantage of this? Very many, what percentage?
I'm sure there's quite a few out there doing small personal projects on duty at any given time.
Just curious.
Yeah. It just depends on what you have going on in your life. I use the refinishing furniture.
A honey-do list?
You know, when my kids were young and being born, you know, we did buy stuff, use like a little dresser, and I'd bring it in and paint it. And, you know, sometimes it didn't look the best, or I'd have to repaint it because it got halfway through and, you know, have to re-go. So that was a personal experience. So.
Yeah, the only thing I was gonna bring up, I apologize if I misspoke, was Roseville Fire, when they did the kids camp. I print the shirts here for the district, and so I printed shirts for them. That was something that I did on duty. It was a nonprofit thing. We did it to help them. And so that I think would fall under the same kind of things. When I look at like a project, that was kind of one of those things. So I agree that the
I
finish.
love that kind of thing.
Right, and the finishing for that, I haven't seen anybody do that yet, but I thought that was kind of, you know, it kind of makes you kind of go, wait a second, what? But
No, I think that's great because there was a community engagement aspect to what you were doing. There was a benefit.
Right.
So I commend you for that. And I would really support that kind of thing.
You're jumping over that line. You
got it. I did too. I'm sorry. It's hard.
Any other public comment? Any board comment? Janine?
She loves it.
Any other policies or anything that anybody wants to? Okay. Moving on. 2025 South Placer Fire District Impact Fees Nexus Study.
All right, so state law requires we have a nexus study to be able to charge fees and collect fees. And we have to have one done before adopting or increasing fees. And it's required to have it done every 8 years. Last study was completed in 2018. So we're getting real close to that period of time. We're requesting contract authority to enter into and agree with the SCI to update the nexus study. Once completed, the board will adopt the study, and then that study will go to the town and the county for approval. Once that's done, we will be in compliance with the law, and we will be able to continue to collect mitigation and impact fees. So, 20 something $1,000, if I recall correctly. 24,050 is the total project cost.
Questions from the board?
How long does it take for them to do it typically?
Jeff? I recall. I guess it's probably a few months. You probably see it in May or June.
Have you ever got any other bids for it?
There's a few other vendors. We're typically tied in with SCI for the collection of all our levies and fees, and it's sole source, in my opinion. But if you would like us to go solicit other bids, we can most certainly do that.
I mean, I'm comfortable with SCI, but I just think from a transparency standpoint, it would be good to look into that, just to, as long as you're not spending hours and hours doing it.
Are they doing other projects for the district?
Yes.
Okay.
So they're already a vendor.
Correct.
Okay.
They're involved with collecting some of our fees already, so that information will be readily at hand for them because they're the ones doing it, as opposed to having to share it with
Okay.
it.
And you guys are super comfortable with SCI? Okay. Well, then, I retract my statement. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say that I've seen them do work on behalf of a lot of the districts in the county, and I think they're really a leader when it comes
That's fine.
to districts. So,
I mean, I don't want to waste their time, and if everybody's comfortable, I'm totally fine with that.
I mean, SCI used to do agreements when we were separate.
Any public comments or questions? They have a motion to approve the contract?
I hear that we motion to approve the 2025 South Placer Fire District Impact Fee Nexus Study. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Informational and discussion.
All right. The details of the district. So 367 calls in February, up by about 47 calls from last year, and up significantly from 2023 by almost 100 calls. Calls by apparatus mix, 16 engines, 16 at the top. Station 18, station 17 with the most call volume, followed by 15, 16, 19, 20. Remember, this one's by area of the station. Here's response by unit and engine. And you can see station 17 is staying mostly in 17's area, third one in. That's the orange and the little blue. And looks fairly same as last month. And I'll point you to 19 as we start to see the engines going in there. It's a pretty good equal split among 16, 17, and 20.
I got it.
Medic responses, it'll be interesting to compare this one to next month once Medic 19 is on board and seeing what that show looks like. 4 fires in February: a chimney, a dumpster, a vehicle fire, and a mutual aid fire. Call response turnout time down significantly, trending down. Travel time is fairly flat, with maybe it upticked in February, but overall performance is trending up a little bit. Unit hour utilization, 20 and 12% for the medics and about 6% usually for the engines. You can see those trends here. Our ambulance response time was 98% for the month of
Can we
January.
rewind for just a second?
Yeah.
Was your call response time, the turnout time and travel time? How are those correlated? Are we seeing a better turnout time falsely because the turnout time was always better, but the recording time that we were getting was so lagged? Because I'm seeing turnout times getting better and travel times getting longer.
Travel time is really, I would say.
What is our overall time? Is our overall time staying more flat? Because that would tell me that maybe we had a good turnout time this whole time, but the way, because I know we had that issue with dispatch where guys were going en route and there was a delay in dispatch putting it in. Have they gotten better at that putting it in? And that's what's now making our turnout time look the way it should, which in fact is making our travel time more accurate. Does that make sense?
Kind of.
So we had 9 minutes overall before, and we were taking 2 minutes here and 7 minutes there, and now we're taking 1.5 minutes here and 7.5 minutes here. It's the same 9 minutes, but are we getting a more accurate data? And that's why we're seeing the increase in one and the decrease in the other.
I would say, again, travel time is mainly flat, and it shows a little uptick, but that's within seconds, right? So 7:55 is that line, and you can see we're probably at like 7:58 to 8:02 is the delta between February of last year and February of this year. So we're really mostly flat, which is good for the travel time. But
I'm looking back further, like from October. From October forward, we've had this continuing decline in our turnout times. And we've had a continuing increase in our, other than that quick drop there in December to January.
I would say the peaks, so the line flattens out the peaks, right? That gives you the average running across. So even though you're seeing that sawtooth up and down, what we're seeing as an average is a slight increase. I think we can all agree traffic around here is getting worse and is more impactful. I would say if you want to actually compare, let's go out, 18, 24 months and see what that looks like, or we can bring total response time into the equation.
I think total response time would give us pretty much what we're looking at, because then we're looking at, right, where that stands. But I know we did have that issue.
And we can't really control travel time, so that's always a tough metric.
No, and that's what I'm wondering, is that why our turnout time is getting to where it actually was the whole time, because it's being reported through dispatch?
No, I think our turnout time is true and accurate as best we can do. There's a lot of variables with turnout. I think it's getting a little better with the use of tablet command and pushing buttons. And I'll defer to the captain to operate it, because instead of having to get on the radio and the dispatcher forgetting or being busy and taking time.
Well, that's exactly what I'm getting at, right? So before it was, engine 20 is responding, and then they're going in and hitting the button on their side, whereas now we are hitting the button on our side, which is bringing down the turnout time, which to an more accurate time, which is now forcing the travel time to be a more accurate time as well. If the total turnout and travel time is the same when the turnout times were showing bad numbers, then I think we're getting a false number during that time. Does that make sense?
Yes. How about we'll bring in total response time to the equation?
Yeah.
We can take a look at it.
Any other questions? Do we have any trouble lights, like where rigs back up habitually, like Auburn, Folsom, Douglas, or Barton and Auburn? I mean, I guess what I'm getting at is does Placer County use preemptors at all?
Yes.
They do.
Yes.
Do we have do we have a need for it? And
We have it.
We do have preemptors. I wasn't aware of that. Okay.
We're working on fixing, so when 19 was closed, they turned those lampposts at that intersection. What we saw was a significant decrease in vehicle accidents at Cabot, Stallman, and Auburn, Folsom.
Okay.
So they went to go turn them around. We're asking to have a meeting with them on turning those to see if we can actually, so that light that's right by the station, right before Cabot, causes people to malfunction.
Yeah. No.
And so we're gonna see if they can move that back. If you are familiar with driving up that road, as you get to kind of the crest of the hill, but before you make the right, there's a yellow blinking indicator there that there's a stoplight coming. What I'm gonna see if we can do is put that light for the station there. So you don't have people coming around that corner being surprised by the first emergency light, and then you have a cabin
Yeah,
light.
no, that's a good call.
And if we do that, and they're willing to take care of that, then what we're hoping to see is the push button, change the light system, will change that light red for northbound traffic before they get to that turn. And it'll stop Cabot southbound traffic, or Auburn Folsom southbound at Cabot, giving us a nice cushion to get those units out of the door.
Yeah.
That's what we're working on. Other places, Barton and Douglas is atrocious on a good day. We do have preemptors, but I don't think people pay attention, and it's a 55-mile-an-hour road. So it's very complex, and our crews are very diligent about making sure that traffic is stopped.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you had them, if it's a need one or an improvement.
Yeah, we have Opticoms. We're in well, like I said, we're gonna have a meeting with the city or the county, sorry, to talk more about this. Something that's coming up now is more of an ABL type system where it's not required so much on the transmitter, but using the vehicle location devices on the rigs to trigger those lights, which is more accurate. I don't know if they're quite there yet. It's a significant lift on their end, but that's something we're looking at. We also wrote a grant for the Office of Transportation Safety to equip all of our rigs with this device called OS Alerts. And what that does is if you're using Waze, or if you have one of a bunch of different manufacturers of cars, it will alert those people that a fire engine's coming on their dashboard or smartphone. It will also additionally notice the public if we're parked on an emergency scene that it's upcoming and to steer clear. So there's a lot of things that we're trying to do to increase safety for the firemen and also mitigate the traffic issues.
Great, that's awesome.
Is the county gonna charge us to move that line from?
Always a good question.
We won't know when we would.
Because I know in the past, when I worked for Southwestern, every time we want something, it costs us $14,000.
I will say they did us a solid on the last one, and they did not charge us to flip them around and turn them off. And I think they were kind of excited because I think they could see what we've noticed is that there's a reduction in accidents because of that. So we're hoping to leverage that to help them cover the cost of.
Problem is our lighting system was in place before the light was installed at Cabot Stallman. So back when it was just our lights, it wasn't an issue because it wasn't that confusion. And then when they put the traffic signal in at Cabot Stallman, that's when it started to get confusing. And that's when people started.
Oh, yeah, you get people that drive through the one at Cabot Stallman on a green and then stop at the light and it's not even doing anything.
No, it happens all the time. They do so much. It's very.
They do it at the crosswalk too.
Especially if you're not familiar with it, so I get it.
They pull up and stop.
Where they malfunction right there in the middle of the road on the blinky yellow and people come around the corner, hit them. There's.
Yeah.
So.
No, we have, the county agreed to have a meeting. They were very accommodating on that. So we'll sit down and talk to them and share our concerns. Hopefully come to a solution.
Didn't mean to derail your.
That's okay. The questions are great. And I think it went into a nice conversation about what we're doing for traffic safety.
Perfect. We had Opticoms back in the 80s here.
Okay. Chief and Goldie,
So fire prevention report, we're trending pretty much average for this time of year. We had 6 new residential starts and 1 new commercial start. Took in 44 sets of plans, which is about typical, like I said, for this time of year. 30,000, a little over 30,000 square foot of remodels started. That's over double what they were last month. So definitely remodels are trending up as people are probably looking at ways to improve their property without buying an entirely new one. 44 new construction inspections done between myself and Katrina, and then 1 reinspection in that time frame. I did have the opportunity last week, I think, last week to put on or to participate in a meeting in the town of Loomis for the residents there on defensible space and home hardening. Set up through a local real estate agent. She sent out invitations. We ended up with about 60 people, I would say 70 people in attendance. Very, very well attended. Myself, representative from PCSO, PCWA, as well as the UC Master Gardeners were there. All 4 of us were able to give presentations on our respective fields, and it was very well received. And we opened it up to the public for questions. So great opportunity to meet with the community, and then also provide a little education on what they can do but doing their part to help us help them sort of thing. So that turned out really well. Facilities wise, the photovoltaic system for Station 19, that project's been put on hold because they were on the roof and they noticed that there was quite a bit of wear on the comp shingles on the roof. So they recommended that we contact our roofer and have them take a look at the roof before they put the solar on. So we did contact our guy, came out, and they confirmed that yes, our 20 to 25 year roof that's in its 23rd year is ready to be replaced. So
FYI, you'll be seeing your budget revision next week.
yeah. So we did go out to bid. We had 3 bids and actually just signed a contract today to get that going. So once that roof is replaced, which should occur in the next couple of weeks, then we will get DC Solar back on board to put the solar on. So, but did us no good to put solar on a better roof. That's what's going on with that. Station 20, we were finished that project last week. All the ductwork, the original ductwork in the fire station was replaced. The entire unit was sanitized as well as all the registers. And then a UV light was put in the unit itself to help with any kind of problems or issues with it that it would be for infection control, things like that. So that project's being completed as well. And then we did some upgrades to Station 19 to get the crews in there. Just some basic housekeeping stuff. We replaced all of the light bulbs in the station. It was 110 different lights with LEDs because they were all old school, either fluorescence or can lights. And so it was a big improvement. Ironically, when we replaced the lights, we noticed the carpet looked really bad. It didn't look so bad when the lights were really dingy, and it was so we had the entire place cleaned and then all the tile cleaned as well because it made a big difference when the lights were good. So, but anyway, did some work out there and got them up to speed, and proud of the way that turned out. On the investigation side, team hasn't been utilized. There's been nothing of significance for us to investigate at this point, which is good news. Any questions?
The 44 sets of plans submitted, do any of those fall into our CFP?
Not yet. April 1st is our anticipated go live date with that. We're still working on the logistics with the county to make sure that we're in the stack for approval so that what we don't want to do is surprise a builder or developer coming here with we had an approval from the county and we didn't know. And now we're telling them that there's a few month-long process or a month process that they have to take care of. So we're really trying to make sure that they're well aware of it before coming here. And so we're shooting for April 1st.
We're trying to get it as a standard comment for all new projects. So anything that goes through planning or through building up in the county level will automatically have that comment on there, regardless of whether or not we're asked to provide comments or conditions on the project. It'll just automatically be put on each one. And then Katrina and I did meet with the town last week, and they're completely on board with getting that done at the early stages as well. So we're trying to give the builder the most lead time possible that they can. And then we've also learned too that when properties are annexed into the CFD, they'll be coming to you for final approval. And we were under the impression that we had to do that with each and every one. But we've learned too in the process now that can be done like on a quarterly basis. So once we get that up and running, you'll start to see where probably we'll set it up quarterly initially. Where you'll just get a list of these are the properties that are annexing into the CFD. Is the board okay with it? So that greatly speeds up the process because the builder's not waiting for us to approve it as long as they have their packet in place and the packet.
Most of these are single family residences that have been either in the plannings or already gone through the county stuff. So
yeah, that's why I wasn't sure where they were lying in the.
Yeah. But any big project, the county's coming to us already because they're aware of it. And while they've been great to work with, sometimes trying to get to the right people to make sure that we're getting what we need is a bit more complicated challenge. So,
any questions for prevention from the room?
Large overtime, 44% due to open space, 29% sick leave, 12% vacation, 15% miscellaneous, 35% mandatory, 65% volunteer. Here's the track in a line form. Here's our total hours, total dollars. Leave usage is up a little bit over last year and sick leave and OT down in vacation. Committee monthly reports.
Anybody have any report on from committees? Do you have something you want to report out from one of the committees?
Just the district committee. Progress.
So strategic planning committee has met twice now. And basically building the underlayment to monitor the process and the progress as we move through the strategic plan. We also had our committee that met with the other districts, kind of a meet and greet brainstorming. We have another meeting coming up for that here Monday. Monday. So that's all there's to report out on those. Personnel committee. Well, a lot of stuff's come out of there. It was in the previous slides earlier where it was dealing with the policies, meet and confer over a lot of different things. And we've been working on those relationships, so that's been going pretty well in there. Anything else? Any questions from the public? Correspondence reviews.
Parks report in monthly was $1.7 million with earnings of $30,000 before fees. We have a thank you letter from CAL FIRE for Chief Ngolia's stellar work up at the Bidwell Mansion fire. Great reading and just a testament to the work of Chief Ngolia and what he brings to both the district and the task force. We have an update from the Hidden Valley Firewise community. They put together something in their community newsletter about the open house and what's going on a little bit with the district. And then we have put in there an article that local community media wrote on our crews and what they're doing locally and their help down in the fires down south.
On the board on correspondence. Anything from the public? Moving on to the chief's report.
Chief Ngolia covered Station 19 prep. We got an open house coming March 29th. I think it'll be well attended by the public. I know we're gonna have some electeds there. Firewise will be there with a super cool looking pop-up tent and some literature. Super excited to have them. Medic 19 went into service as of March 8th and Station 20 is at 3.0 staffing. Met with the truck needs assessment group. We had a good conversation about some stuff. They're going back to the drawing board and are going to come back and hopefully be in front of the board soon. Public education, we had a meeting with the Loomis Public Safety Committee where we talked about PCWA did a presentation about hydrants and how they work. I'm going to try and get their map for our open house meeting so the community can see what's going on with that. We had an open house at Station 16 on the 1st, which was well attended. On March 6th, Chief Ngolia already spoke to the fire prevention presentation he gave at the train station. April 8th, we're doing Hidden Valley, I want to say Firewise, but is it Firewise that you guys are doing a presentation over there at the HOA, or are we just meeting to talk about?
No, so Diane Means, who's the lead, she's watching. So the plan is that she's putting together group captains, if you will. I think she calls them something different.
Okay.
But the idea there is to get them trained, get them introduced to how to move forward in the community.
Perfect. We put a bunch of effort into training our crews. I know they've been in the back. There's Sean Klein and a bunch of other members are working hard to put that training prop back together, putting a lot of great hours. It's coming around. Me and Confer, we talked about our medic remount on 507, which was old engine.
Medic 20.
Medic 20 is underway, and mission vision value posters are, I think, posted at most of the stations. We're just waiting on the remodel here to hang it up. And that's all I have for the chief's report, unless you have any questions.
What's the time on March 29th?
11 to 1.
Any questions from the board? Questions from the public?
Are you gonna have hot dog?
Yes, ma'am. Don't be late. And no burn piles that day.
It rains every day.
I'm gonna stand for you to sit still. So Director Windenhausen, am I saying that right?
Windishausen.
Windishausen, okay. Welcome aboard. I've not been here while you've been here on the board, so glad to have you. I appreciate all the work that you guys do and the time and effort you spend to make South Gloucester better. To introduce myself, Sean Klein, Captain Paramedic on 16A on duty today. Here in place of Patterson. I'll be on like second in command for our membership group. And just, I want to say thanks to Pat. I know he's not here. I appreciate the opportunity for him to speak tonight. He puts so much time and effort into this and he's so passionate. This guy, I don't know that you guys know, there are days that he stays here. He lives in Truckee. He'll stay here all day just to come to the board meeting. So I'm glad tonight that he stayed home so that he could, you know what I mean? It's just, it's so much for him to have to come down and I think he should take a break, you know, now and again, because it's stressful. And then just to give you a quick labor report, make it nice and brief. Captain Green, we kind of talked about it last month, went out, did the cancer symposium. He brought back a lot of stuff, sent out an email. He's got a lot of great information on the cancers that are affecting, you know, everybody that works in the fire or in the fire service. And then like you saw, we did the badge pinning tonight. Max, he was the young man that had his father and his father's girlfriend that were in the Class A's. He's assigned to me. I can't tell you guys how exciting it is to have these four brand new guys coming aboard. They're a super good bunch. He's a dialed in, great kid. And we look forward to providing a lot of training and hopefully we can capture maybe one, two, maybe all of them. That's the goal, obviously, is to maybe make these guys into paramedics and keep them long term. But they're a solid group of guys and it's super exciting to have them. The other thing, as Chief mentioned, we've got Medic 19, had a few quirks in the beginning, spoke with Chief Feely and Chief Dewar today. Sounds like the dispatch has ironed out some of this stuff as far as the response areas and them responding it out so that we're not having to maybe monitor as much. And so it looks like that's great. I will be on Medic 19 on Friday and Saturday. If you guys have a need for a paramedic, I'm going to be the primary on those 2 days. So looking forward to working on it because I actually think it's a pretty nice medic. So I can't wait to see what that's like. As he mentioned, on the 7th, we had an LMI meeting with the group. I would say it went okay, right? We had to work out some details as far as how we're going to, you know, proceed with information sharing and everything else. And then we look forward to on the 25th doing it again. And so we look forward to seeing y'all and see if we can make some progress. The only issue I have to note is because of our vacancies, we're seeing some of the primary paramedics that have bidded seats that are moving over and having to cover some of the open seats if we don't have paramedics signing up. So that's some of the growing pains we're having right now with our openings. And so hopefully we can work on that moving forward. But other than that, that's all I have unless you guys had any questions.
Questions from the board?
I thought our meeting went better than just okay.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. I think, yeah, somewhere in there, right? Could have went better. But no, I agree. We're going to make some progress as soon as we figure out the rules of engagement, right? So, perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions or comments?
Oh, no, one question is there, how many vacancies do we have in this area?
6.
6 vacancies. Spread out to how many stations?
4 stations across 3 shifts.
Yeah, that's not much.
Actually, 5 stations. Sorry.
Not much then. Okay.
It's a lot. It's an impact to the membership and we're trying to work through a way to fix that. And we hopefully we'll be able to talk about some more opportunities here in the near future.
Any comments from the board? Function scheduling.
Open house at Station 19, March 29th from 11 to 1. Hidden Valley HOA meeting April 8th. And then Hidden Valley is doing a Firewise event, I think is the one I was talking about, on May 14th at 6 p.m. 1800 for those of you in military time.
Board staff comments. Future agenda items. And with that, we will adjourn the meeting. Thank you all for coming today.